Hi, how are you? I'm going to make my honey whole wheat bread. I have the recipe set aside. I did post it on here for you guys on this becoming Linenites, which this is Millinite. I love that term. It makes me so happy. Okay, so on the recipe, 5 cups of very warm water. Oh, I wonder if I could zoom out here. Okay, so I have my bowl right here. I'll show you. Okay, warm water. I have my berries that I will be grinding. Honey, salt, yeast, and then I have my oil measured out. Okay, so first things first is 5 cups of very warm water. I got that in there. 1/4 cup of oil. You could do butter, but I just happen to have more olive oil than I do butter right now. So that's the oil. And then I have to do 2 tablespoons of salt. I'm just doing pink salt. 2 tablespoons. I know it seems like a lot, but this recipe makes 5 medium loaves, about 4 good sized loaves. So hold on one second. I got to do things one-handed. Okay. 2 tablespoons yeast. This one. 2. Now, I'm going to set this aside. My honey is a little bit on the hard side. That's just fine. So I'm just going to put it in the warm water and then it'll get softened. I'm not going to be able to do that one-handed, so I'm just going to put you there. So what does it say? 1/2 cup of honey. Okay, sometimes I don't get a half because sometimes I don't have enough honey. And it'll be just fine. If you don't have honey, I don't know, maybe leave it out. Maybe do just a tablespoon or 2 of sugar. Yeah, this is definitely not a 1/2 cup, but I don't want to go in the other room and get my other honey, so I'm just going to let this get softened in the warm water and kind of stir it around while I'm going to mill the flour. I'm going to show you how this Nutri-Mill grinder works. I'm not going to show the whole time because it'll be loud, so I'm going to pause the video and then I'll start again when I'm done milling all the flour. I will be putting in 5, 6, I think the recipe says 5 to 7 cups of flour because sometimes it can vary based on what wheat berries you use. I'm going to be using soft white wheat and hard red wheat mixed together. I have more hard red wheat in there than soft white. I usually always mix. I don't know why. I think I just read Azure Standards where I get the grain, their website description of the grains, and I thought, oh yeah, that's a good bread grain. The soft white is maybe more for muffins or cakes or biscuits, but I like to add it. I don't know, so it turns out I like it. Okay, so I'm just gonna let this sit, but while I am milling the flour, I'm just gonna be adding it to this. Okay, so I have all that milled, and the recipe says 5 to 6 cups of flour, or 5 to 7. This is probably, I lost count because that's just what happens. You're going to be mixing this. You can do it either with a KitchenAid mixer or a bread mixer with a paddle, or you can just do it the hard way like I do. I have a mixer, but sometimes it's more work getting that thing out. And, you know, it's okay to gain some muscle while working in the kitchen. There's something about mixing it by hand with a wooden spoon in a heavy bowl that's just fulfilling. Okay, so you're going to mix it until it's like a pancake batter, which is just about now. There's some. So the batter is relatively warm still from the, it comes out of here just warm to the touch. I mean, it's not cold, but it's not hot. I probably need about 2 cups. I ground some extra for rolling it out. It does not take that long for this to rise. I live in Minnesota where it's cold, and I just made this the other day, this batch, and it probably took under 30 minutes, and it was like this. So I don't know how much longer I can do it with one hand, but I'm looking for a dough. Whoops. I'm looking for a dough that's thicker than this, okay? A lot thicker. I probably need to grind just a little bit more flour. I'm just looking for the dough to kind of pull away from the bowl. And you don't want too much flour. I would say it's better to shy away from the flour than to add too much, because when this is risen, I'm going to punch it down and put it on the counter and still have flour to roll it out into loaves. So, okay, looks like I need to grind some more flour, but I probably need a good cup added to this. So there you go. You can kind of, okay, I'm going to have to push this up against to stir. You see that? What I noticed with freshly milled flour is it tends to soak up even after. So even if you're thinking, oh wow, that's still, it should be just a clump. I don't find that it works well that way. You've added too much flour then. So don't overthink it, okay? Don't add too much. I would say for sure 7 cups. But about that consistency. Can you guys see it? Definitely thicker than a pancake. I'm going to let this sit. I'll scrape that off. Let it sit. Put a pretty towel over it. Let it rise for 30 minutes. Take it out. Put it on my cutting board. And then form it into probably 4 loaves. 4 to 5 loaves. Whatever you have for baking pans. For loaf pans. That's what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll make another video. I don't know how long I can make this for on my phone and then upload it. So maybe I'll make another one of how I roll it out.